How's it going, boys? So, you have stumbled upon this godforsaken game called Dota 2. Oh yes? Now you have no idea how to play this game because the tutorial system is absolutely completely utter trash. Yes, and many of you are probably shivering to your souls at this moment. But that's why I'm here. Papa Nize is gonna take care of you boys. Anyways, moving forward. So today we're basically going to keep it simple, keep it basic for the newbies. Alright, so you can probably tell once you get into the game, the system is gonna tell you to play the overall tutorials. These are the mechanics such as camera movement, all of these. You might think this is good enough. Well, let me just tell you guys, hate to break it to you, but this is far from enough. This is only the minuscule of the icing on top, guys. So, but they did give you good heroes, so I would still recommend Dragon Knight as a beginner hero to play. Sniper, Shadow Shaman actually is kind of hard to play, so I don't actually think Shadow Shaman is the easiest. But you know what? We're gonna go like this, boys. So I am going to basically explain the game from the get-go and just let you guys know what it actually is in the development, boys. So starting off, we can look at the heroes, right? So all the heroes I would recommend you practice everything on. By the way, this is just everything I explain in this video that you're going to be practicing and learning about. You're gonna use these I'll just say 5 heroes just for your starting. All right. If in case if someone picks one, you can just pick like one of these 5 heroes, basically guaranteed. If someone on your team picks it, you're fine. So actually, you know what, I'm gonna give you 10 heroes, because if the enemy also picks 5 heroes, at least you always have one hero that the enemy does not pick. You know what I mean? So yeah, so you're gonna be looking at only complexity number 1. So you can play heroes such as I would say Dragon Knight, right? Dragon Knight, very easy hero. One of my favorite heroes, actually. This hero is insanely easy, but he's pretty damn good. He's very good, actually. He has a passive ability that makes you tanky, stun, nuke, and an ultimate that you just press and use. He's pretty basic. Like, all of his spells are very easy to cast. You just have to press them and then press on the enemies. Pretty straightforward. Wraith King, this is probably the most noob hero. You have 2 passive abilities. You have 1 ability that makes you stun people. And by the way, your Wraith King is probably gonna look like this, because you don't have the Arcana, but I do. Yeah, I'm cool like that. So, and his ultimate is Reincarnation, which makes him respawn after he dies. How much more broken can you get besides that, boys? I'm not sure. I think that's probably the pinnacle of the easiest heroes you can pick. Other heroes are like Sven, very easy carry. I'm not gonna go in depth into any of these heroes anymore because obviously this is just a beginning tutorial. I'll go over heroes in another video, but this is just to recommend some heroes. Bristleback, another easy one to play. And that's how many? 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll recommend one last one, boys. I would say for melee heroes, maybe Juggernaut. Yes, Juggernaut. He's the same thing as Sven, except for, well, he's actually not the same thing as Sven. I take that back. He has a spin and Omni Slash. Well, you know what? We're not even gonna go into the abilities anymore. Ranged heroes, I recommend Sniper, Viper. What else? Lion is the easy one. Crystal Maiden and Zeus. Yeah. The thing you have to worry about ranged heroes is that besides Viper, who's pretty tanky for a ranged hero, all these other heroes that are ranged are very squishy. Like, I'm telling you, if you're a Zeus, you're gonna die in 2 seconds if you don't if you get out of position. So I would probably not start with the ranged heroes unless if you think you're unique for some reason, but you're not. So I'll probably just start off with like the Bristlecbacks, the Sven, the Wraith King, Dragon Knight, these tanky melee heroes. But yeah, those are the heroes you should start off with. But yeah, starting off from the get-go. So, well, you know what, I'm actually just going to hop in the match here. Oh, oops, misclick. I'm actually just gonna go into a custom lobby so I can better explain this, boys. Alright, boys. So I'm just gonna start in this is just like a single player lobby so I can easier to explain stuff. I'm going to use Dragon Knight here. So yeah. So what you want to know is that when you start Dota, right? So the goal of this game is to kill the enemy ancient. Alright? So you have your ancient over here, and you have towers, and they have an ancient here. If you play anything like League of Legends or anything like that, Smite, it's the exact same thing, but it's called ancient instead of nexus. That's all you have to know. Alright, that's how you win the game, by destroying this. And by the way, you can't just walk here and kill it, because you have to kill the towers before that to actually kill the ancient. That's just like something, you know, it's pretty standard. Or else it would just be too OP. You can just walk behind here. And yeah, the towers will attack you, and they do a lot of damage, like a shit ton of damage in the early game. So you can't not just tank them. So let's just look at the map. Okay, I'm just gonna briefly describe how the map is. So there's 3 lanes. So there's a top lane, which is called off lane for the Radiant, mid lane, which is the middle lane, and safe lane, which is the bottom lane for Radiant. And the off lane for Dire, which is this side is Dire, this side is Radiant. For the Dire, this is the off lane, and then this is the safe lane. So it's basically vice versa for them. So off lane is where the position 3 goes. Mid lane is the mid laner. So mid lane is 1 person, alright? So each team can only have 1 mid laner. This has been like this for the beginning since Dota. So please do not grief your team if you first start playing this game by going mid. If someone else already take mid, don't go mid, guys. If someone did not take mid, yeah, for sure, go mid. Bottom lane, there's always a position 5 support and position 1 carry. Top lane is off lane position 3 and position 4 support. And if this is your first time playing MOBA, you probably have absolutely no idea what I just said, so I will explain that right now. So there's different positions. There's 5 heroes on the team. So there's position 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is skilled based on how important you are in the early game and how strong you are in the early game versus late game, and how much gold you need to acquire and XP for you to be useful in the game. So Dragon Knight is a position 2 hero. He goes mid almost 90% of the time. And as a position 2, your farm priority is number 2 on the list. The easiest way to understand role 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is that position 1 needs the most farm, which means he's going to be the one getting last hits and farming the jungle. And the position 5 is going to be the last person to be farming the creep and farming the jungle. So if you see your position 1, let him take all the last hits. Don't try to steal any last hits from him, because it's just not how the role is supposed to be played. And another way to say it is that position 5 is the strongest in the early game. So like when the game starts at minute 0, position 5 generally their space stats are the best. They have the best abilities and whatnot. And position 1 are the weakest. So position 5 generally like babysits the carry until the late game, and then the carry outskills them because they have more gold and stuff, and then they carry the game. That's why it's called a carry. So that's basically the roles, boys. And just so you know what? I'm actually going to... Well, actually, let's just look at the map first. So you have a mid lane tower, and you have 2 towers in each. Actually, no, you have 3 towers in each lane. So 1, 2, 3. And by the way, the towers have more damage as you go further back, and they also have more armor. They also do more damage, right? So that's just like how the game goes. So it's harder to kill. So it's easier to kill the first tower. They also have less HP than to kill the second and third tower. And then once you have to kill the first tower to get to the second tower, by the way. And once you kill the third tower, there's something called the barracks. So there's a melee one and the ranged one. So these barracks actually has nothing to do with your creeps, which is these things that spawn every 30 seconds in the game. So these creeps are basically things that allow you to kill, and then you get XP and gold. And they also fight the enemy creeps and fight enemy heroes. in the early game when you're level 1 without any like items and stuff, creeps actually do a fair amount of damage to you. So if you're tanking a lot of creeps for a while, you can actually die. But once you start getting acquiring levels and items, the creeps become just like free gold. So they just don't do anything besides tanking towers. Yeah, they just soak up the tower hits so you don't have to get hit, and you can sit behind them safely to hit the tower and push. But these racks do not spawn them. What they do is that they're essentially an item, buildings that allow the enemies to, once you destroy the enemies racks, your creeps level up. So you will get like mega creeps. If you destroy one row, you will get like, I forgot what they're called, like large creeps or bigger, like they're just stronger. But once you destroy all 3 of them in each lane, you get mega creeps. And oh boy, mega creeps are hella strong, boys. Even a maxed out level 25 hero sometimes cannot be messed with a wave of mega creeps, because their HP, health, and damage just go up significantly, a lot more. Yeah. So that's racks, and then these things just don't do anything. They're just for show. You can get gold, just don't worry about them. And then you got the tier 4 towers, which is these 2 towers right here. And what they allow you, oh yeah, by the way, you can do this in the game, which is pretty cool. You can't do this in League, can you? Yeah. These towers basically allow you to, well, they don't allow you to do anything, but they're the last defense you have until your ancient is exposed. So you generally don't want the enemy to be coming here, right? This is your base. So this is your high ground, this area right here. You can't walk across this, by the way. This is like the only pass you can go. And then the dire side also has their high ground. And yeah, that's basically the map. And that's it for the lanes. There's also jungle camps that you can farm. So this is not the only way to acquire golden XP, by the way. You can also get it by killing enemy heroes, and there's a few other ways which I will explain, but you can get it by killing enemy heroes or these jungle creeps right here. I'm just going to buy some boots and just show you guys. And yeah, you can buy items too. Okay, this is actually a lot harder than I thought, but yeah. You can come here to farm jungle creeps, and then they will give you gold. So there's like jungle camps. So they're all spread out on the map. The map is same every single game. So you can just remember where the camps are and stuff. So let's say you don't want to farm the creeps. You can just come in here and fight these things. And I'm going to use my nuke and farm them. And yeah, I'm dying because I'm level 1. You should not be jungling at level 1. Most heroes cannot jungle at level 1. That's just a fact. There used to be a position called the jungler, but nowadays it's more of a grief if you do that. So just don't jungle. Just go to your lane until you're like a sufficient level. It's different for every hero, but once you're strong enough, you can jungle efficiently because you can kill them faster, right? And you won't die when you tank them. So that's about it for the map wise. Let's see. So what else was I gonna talk about? Oh yeah, skilling. So abilities. So each hero, most heroes in the game has 4 abilities, but there are some which are like invoker and stuff like that. They have like 5, 6, 7, and some of them even have like 10. Okay, just don't worry about those heroes. We're only gonna be looking at the 4 ability heroes. So you can use them. So their skill level Q, W. And hold on, let me just get some levels real quick. I'm just gonna give myself some gold. I'm just like using single player to hack the system basically. Wait, can I not get levels? Okay, damn it, I can't get levels. That's a rip. But yeah, you get the idea, boys. So you have 4 levels. They're skilled Q, W, E, R. So if I want to use my abilities, I don't have to just click this and do this. It's much more efficient to just press the key, and that's like very good basically. And yeah, once you get levels, oh yeah, by the way, you can get levels by just standing beside units that die. You don't actually have to kill them, but you have to be in a certain range. There's no like indicator for this, but it's generally like a huge circle around you. So if you're too far away, you won't get levels. And you can scale your abilities based on what you need, right? What do you think you need? Do you need a stun? Get the stun. If you don't think you need the stun, you get the passive. there's always generally like a more efficient way to build each hero, but yeah. And then, okay, this is something that's only in Dota. So there's something called strength and agility and intelligence. This is actually super complicated to understand. I did not understand this until playing this game for like a couple months. So if you don't understand this, it's okay. You don't need to, because if you're like starting out the game, no one actually understands this, so it's fine. So strength, so for strength heroes, each point of strength you get 1 damage as well. If you're Agi hero, it works the same way as that. And strength basically gives you HP and health regen. And agility gives you armor and attack speed. And intelligence gives you mana and mana regen. So the more of that number you have, the more of the HP and HP regen you will have. How much is the conversion? I don't even fucking know. It does not matter. I will be honest, I have no clue, but it does not matter, because at the end of the day, this is, you just have to understand what it does. You don't actually have to know the exact number per se. And also, you need to understand that in this game, there's 3 types of damages. So there's physical damage, magic damage, and pure damage. And as you can see, there's a bunch of stats here. Attack speed, damage, attack range, movement speed, spell amp, magic regen, armor, physical resistance, all this stuff, okay? These are super complicated things that you actually don't even need to care about when you start the game, because they don't actually affect how you play the game. Each item will change this, right? If you buy this, gives you evasion. So if I can buy this item, it will like show me that my evasion went up. This gives me armor and damage, right? This gives me movement speed and attributes. But don't worry about these things, because as a beginner, you don't actually have to really understand them. You just have to know that just buy the recommended items, basically. Just open up a random guide, and then like open up a random guide. So if you go here, if you click on this button, right, that's the shop icon. So there's a shit ton of items you can buy. If you're not sure what to buy, just go browse all guides, right? This is available to anyone, by the way, and just click on some guide. I just made my own, and then you can click on someone else's guide, and then just buy the items they recommend you. So when you're starting off, always buy a lot of regen. Quelling blade, if they tell you to. You don't even have to really understand what the item does. You could just read it. It is pretty complicated to understand every item. Trust me, boys. There is so many heroes in this game and so many items. The reason why I tell you to only pick 10 heroes is because you want to understand the game before you understand all the heroes and items. So don't even like worry too much about if you're buying the right item or not. Obviously, there's like a more efficient item to buy in every situation. But just buy like the default stuff. Buy your boots, buy whatever item they tell you to buy in the game, just buy them. You can have a max of 6 items in this game, by the way. So if you have too many, you have to sell it. And when you sell items, it only gives you back half the gold you spent them for. So, another thing about this game you have to understand is that there's something called neutral items that drop every 7 minute, 17, 27, 37, and 60 plus. So every time when the game progresses to a certain time, when you kill neutral creeps, and only neutral jungle camps, these are called neutral jungle camps, by the way. Only if you kill these things, you will get, I'm just gonna level up to max, because why not? And only when you kill these things, you will have jungle items. Which are basically, yeah, there we go, I found one. So these items only go in the slots here. They can't go in these slots. But they're essentially a bonus item that gives you some mana regen, attack range, or whatever. And you can find different ones. And there's like a couple different, there's like 10 or something. So you're always going to be finding different ones every game. And that's good. You use it based on what you think is good. If you're looking for mana, you can use this, and that's fine. Or you can use other items. But yeah, let's see if I can find another one here. Alright, I cannot. But yeah. I have, everything has a cooldown, by the way. I don't have a cooldown right now because I use some cheat codes. Obviously, cheat codes are not enabled in multiplayer. But yeah, there's also something called, talents in the game. So once you reach level 10, 15, 20, 25, besides the 4 skills you can level up, you can just level up these things. So, this one gives me 2 mana regen. This one gives me breath fire damage reduction. Damage or HP, whichever you want. So if you're lacking damage, you're like, oh damn, I'm not doing enough damage to the enemy heroes, to pick damage. If you're saying, oh, I'm dying way too fast, I want to be more tanky, pick the HP, right? Cooldown reduction is basically everything that allows your cooldown to go less. So if I do this, wait, so if I do this, I use my ultimate, now it's 100 and something second cooldown, right? If I pick the 15% cooldown reduction, that will be reduced. This is a stun, so yeah, this basically increases your stun. So as you can see how long this stun lasts for. Lasts for a long time, boys. This lasts for 4.845 seconds, so that's pretty OP. You might think 4.85 seconds stun, that's broken. Yeah, that's why DK is a good hero and you should play him. So that's about it for the hero, the skilling, everything. But yeah, there's also something called a Roshan in this game, which is in the center of the map. This is basically like a boss. I'll just show you guys how it looks like. It's not like the League of Legends boss that you fight, because this boss, what happens is that when you kill it, he drops something called the Aegis of Immortality, right? And when you kill it, it will respawn every like 7 to 11 minutes, I believe. It's like a random time. So sometime it might spawn at minute 8, sometime minute 10, every time it dies. And when it dies, it will always drop the Aegis, which basically allows you to revive after you respawn, which is basically Wraith King already has naturally. But yeah, it's pretty good. So if you have it, you have to carry it in your inventory, so it actually takes up a slot. And let's say if you don't have, you run out of slots, right? You can put it in your backpack. But if you put it in your backpack, they stop working. So like, as you can see, I'm running slow now because it's in my backpack. It does not work. If you move it back, you have to wait 6 seconds. And you're probably wondering what I just picked up too. I will tell you guys. But yeah, you kill it the first time, it drops this. By the way, this is super hard to kill. This is not an easy foe to destroy. You have to be a certain hero, or you have to have a lot of damage items, or you need your whole team helping you kill this, right? And you see how this is an enclosed area? Yeah, a lot of team fights break out in this area. So that's something you should know. And if you kill it, the second time, it drops a cheese, a refresh orb. That you don't have to worry about that. That's for another day. So another thing that's very important to understand is there's something called runes. So every 2 minutes in the game, a power rune will respawn. There will either be a regen rune, which fills up your HP and mana to full, haste rune, which allows you to run at max speed without being slowed, so any slow effect does not work on you. So as you can see, DK has an ability that slows enemy movement speed by 40%. That does not work if they have haste. There's an invisibility rune, which makes you invisible until you attack someone or use abilities. And there's a double damage rune, which basically doubles your damage, well, only base damage. Don't worry about base damage, okay? This is complicated shit. Just know that it doubles your damage. It increases your damage. And then there's another rune called I think that's it. And then the last one is just the arcane rune. So this one just reduces cooldown. So as you can see, now my cooldown's reduced, right? Nice. And the last rune is called a bounty rune, which when you pick up, gives your entire team gold. It used to be that only the person who picks it up get gold, but now, you know, it does not matter. Anyone can get gold in this game, and your whole team will get the equal amount of gold. So yeah, and the enemy can steal it, by the way. So you want to fight for the rune every 5-minute mark. So when the 0-minute mark, it spawns, and then every 5 minutes it spawns again. And the power runes only spawn in these 4 locations on the map. They do not spawn here, right? Power runes on the river spawn here, but bounty runes only spawn here, and it gives you a lot of gold, so you should try to get them. But yeah, right now I'm level 25, so I can tank towers and push towers. But yeah, and also when you're buying items, something that you should make a mental note of is that there's something called secret shops. So there's one on the Radiant side here and one on the Dire side over here. And there's some items, which are these items right here, this row of items. You can only buy these items at the secret shop, boys. You cannot buy them here. So they have like a little sign here, like a little tent. So let's say if you're trying to buy this item because you need armor, right? It gives you armor and everything. 2 of these components you can only buy at the secret shop. So if you're not at the secret shop, you can buy this in the base shop. So you can buy it here. But 2 of these components you have to buy here. So you have to buy them here, either by walking here, or you can send your courier here. Now, if you don't play Dota, probably no other MOBA has this, but yeah, there's something called a courier in this game. Everybody has their own courier, so your courier starts off walking and they're slow, and your courier can die. So if it dies, it gives the enemy gold, and you can't use it anymore for 2 minutes. Or if this respawn times gets longer as the game goes on. I think it's like 30 seconds in the beginning, but yeah, you can actually micro your courier. So I can use my hero to like attack this, and I can use my courier. You actually have to manually move your courier here. There's hotkeys though, so like I can press W, it just goes to my secret shop automatically. But your courier can buy stuff for you, and then they will carry it to you. So yeah, so let's say I'm farming here. I don't have to go to base, right? I could TP to my base. I'm TPing back right now. Oh, by the way, TP scrolls cost 90 gold, so you don't want to just use them randomly. And there's a cooldown too. So let's say I'm not in my base. I can't buy myself. So let's say I want to buy some wards. So I can use my courier, and it will give it to me. It will deliver the items to me, basically. That's nice. And yeah, it can die. So you want to make sure if you see enemies, don't die. Couriers generally, well, as you level up your hero, your courier will level up with you, and then they do like get faster and stuff. There's also like a speed boost button every 2 minutes, and there's a shield which makes it invulnerable. And also, if your courier has your items on it and it dies, don't worry, you don't lose it. It just it will respawn once your courier respawns. Imagine just losing your like 3k gold item when your courier dies. That's a yikes. But yeah, well, some items actually drop on courier. So if you have like a gem, well, don't even worry about that. But some items like a gem or rapier, if your courier dies, it actually drops from your courier and the enemy can pick it up. But don't worry about that, because like that's pretty advanced. So there's some stuff called wards in this game. Okay, by this point, this is where Dota gets a little bit complicated, boys, but not really. So wards in this game gives you vision, right? So as you can see, I can't see what's going on here. So if there's an enemy here, I can't see him, and he can do whatever. He can go invis, I wouldn't know. But if I put a ward here, it gives me vision, and as you can see, every 5-minute mark it respawns. So I'm gonna pick it up again. But this ward lasts for 6 minutes, and it gives you vision of a particular area. And by the way, enemies cannot see the ward unless if they have true sight. So I can put the ward here, and then the tower gives true sight. That is why the ward died. But if I put it here, they can't see it anymore. But they could buy something called sentries or a gem, which allows them to see wards. Right? Basically, you can see invisible units. Wards are invisible to the enemies. This also works if you have a shadow blade. So if you have like a shadow blade, you're invisible for 14 seconds, so enemies cannot see you. You can move through them. Invisibility is basically like invulnerability in this game. It's not like when you bump into them, they will know you're there, unless if you attack them, or unless if they have a dust, sentries, or gem that they can see invisible units. They just can't see you in that duration, so yeah. If they buy something like a shadow blade, or if their hero has invisibility, some heroes like Bounty Hunter has natural invisibility skills that makes them invisible for a long time. You have to buy like a dust which you use to basically like reveal them. So like for example, let's say I have dust right here, someone goes invisible, I drop the dust, reveals everything in a certain AoE, and it reveals the units, and it's actually super important. Or you can use a sentry. But yeah, if you're still watching this, boys, let's see what else is there. Oh yeah, there's also something called outpost, which you can get. You can teleport to them like this. And okay, this is actually like not even that necessary for a beginner, but they give you XP, and they're super important because they give you your whole team experience. And if you capture the enemy's outpost, it denies them experience. The enemy can also capture your outpost, but you have to destroy their tier 2 tower. I know that's probably like a lot to take in, but just know that it's good to always capture this. And I can't do it right now because the enemy tower is still alive. But once one of their tier 2 tower, oh yeah, by the way, this is tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4. That's just how the tower naming scheme goes. So I have to destroy their tier 2 tower to capture this, and I can teleport there and I can deny them XP. They can get it back though, so yeah, just be careful. It also takes like 6 seconds or something to channel, so you might just die if you do it. So always go with the team, or if you know they aren't there. But yeah, what else is there? Okay, so let's go through the user interface. So the user interface, so basically this is your stats. You can click on the hero and go to about, and you can see everything here, right? How much strength again. Every time they level up, they will gain some strength, agi, and intelligence. Their base movement speed. These are all base stats, by the way. Their vision range, everything. You can see here how much armor, magic resistance they do. So like for example, if they have 25% magic resistance, if my nuke does 300 damage, it will just do what is it, like 75 damage to the enemies, if my math is correct. So yeah, it will do like 700 damage, 75 damage to the enemies, like 75 less damage to the enemy hero if they have 25% magic res. DK has a lot of armor from his passive, so he has 66% physical resistance, which means if you do 100 damage to me, I'm only going to take I'm gonna take 66 less damage. So what is that, like 34 damage? Yeah, I think so. 34 damage, so that's pretty good. These are your items. This is your backpacks, abilities, everything. This is how what level you're at, and you can see your character like this. But this is probably very hard to play. You could still play like this though. It is still pretty cool to play like this. It looks pretty cool, but yeah. This is the shop. This is your courier. You can select it here. You can just press this button, by the way. So if I want to buy something, I could just press this button to deliver. Everything has hotkeys, by the way. You can set it up however you want to. So there's like hotkeys to select your hero, item hotkeys, quick cast, so it allows you to cast items faster. Don't worry about quick cast for now. It's actually easier to play without quick cast when you're a beginner. Ability hotkeys, courier micro. There's the S key, attack key, next unit button. You can chat with your team with the voice chat. So for me, it's just this button. I can talk to my team, so you can get flamed at. Yay. There's also like learn abilities, taunt, scan. So yeah, you can use a glyph. So if I use my glyph right here, it makes your structures fortified, so they just does not lose health and they can't die basically, and they multi-shot, so they shoot very fast and they can shoot multi-targets. And also glyphs your creeps and stuff. And there's a scan, so if there's like an enemy here, I can scan him. If there is one, it will be red. So let's say if I can't see anyone here, that's what it basically does. Like if it it'll have a red sign with the sound effects to know that someone's here. You shouldn't go there, or unless if you're trying to kill them. What else is there? This is the mini map. You can click on it for easy access. Move it around. It's actually okay. When you play Dota, you need to not lock your camera on heroes. I know some games where you have your camera constantly locked on your hero. Dota is not one of them. You do not lock your camera on your hero, because you need to have map awareness by looking around the map and clicking on enemies and your team, right? So you need to just be in the habit of not having to look at your hero all the time. You can double tap 1 to center back on your hero though. So this is my key. Select hero, select it on 1. You can just double tap it to go back wherever you are if you lose your hero. Like you're like, where the fuck is my hero, boys? Just double tap and you're back. But yeah, I think that's about it for the general heroes and the user map interface. So you know, Dota is pretty damn complex, boys. I will probably do like a full out item guide and other more in depth about the heroes and the stats and strength and everything else later in another video. But this is, you know, it's a beginner's guide. It's gonna be pretty straightforward. Let's actually check how long this has been going on. 33 minutes, boys. Holy, if you're still watching this, props to you, my friend. But yeah, anyways, I'm just going to call it a day here. So yeah, you can join a game here by just going here. You can select modes you want to play. There's also ranked, just don't worry about ranked. I'm just gonna go over through the ranks real quick. So there's something, when you start off, you're probably like unranked. You have to play 100 hours to be ranked, and because they don't want you to, obviously you have to learn the game, right? This game is complex. You have to play a certain amount of time to understand the game. So there is Herald, Guardian, Crusader, Archon, Legend, Ancient, Divine, Immortal. I'm in divine rank, so I'm like basically the top like 2% or 1% of players. So I'm actually pretty high ranked. So I feel like I'm qualified to make this guide. And I have like 5k hours in this game. Yeah, hashtag no life. But if you enjoy getting flamed by others and getting yelled at by a 30-year-old grown-ass man, then hey, at least we have something in common. At least, just kidding, man. But you all love this game, trust me, boys. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, drop a like, and you should check out my other Dota 2 guides. So yeah, there's basically no downsides to checking them out. It's free. But yeah, so yeah, take it as you will, boys. Anyways, this is Nize here. Hope you enjoyed the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Check out the Twitch, check out the Patreon, check out the Discord, check out the everything, anything, and everything, boys. And I'll see you guys in the next one, boys. Peace out.